Welcome to the Elusive Truth with Rich and Larry. On today's show, well, happy freaking New Year. And wow, I think it's gone crazier already. 2024 is nothing to sneeze at so far. Look at the earthquakes in Japan, aliens in Miami Bayside, Trump's kicking butt in the primaries, and now we have a showdown in Texas versus Biden and the Supreme Court. My, oh my, what crazy times ahead of us. Larry will be with us next week. He is busy driving around Seattle looking for his packages, but he does have some interesting stuff to say. If you want to catch up on the latest, go to Godslewski 2.0. Apparently he had a crazy show last week concerning NASA and Satan and oh boy. But we're going to hear about it when Larry gets back. Speaking of aliens, as I mentioned before, aliens in Miami, right there at Bayside, at the mall. All sorts of craziness going on. But I have a little clip from WPLG 10 News explaining what took place on January 1st, 2024. Have a listen.
Developing right now at noon, chaos at Bayside Marketplace after a fight broke out between a large group of young people.
Police have made at least 4 arrests following the frenzy where businesses were damaged as well. Local 10 News reporter Annalise Garcia is live at the scene.
And she has some new details on the incident. It actually led to a big police response.
Christy, Janice, police swarmed this area in downtown Miami. Parts of Biscayne Boulevard were even shut down because of the massive response. Now, this all started because of what police say was a brawl at Bayside Marketplace. Now, 4 people are behind bars. Video shows a massive police response outside Bayside Marketplace in downtown Miami. Police say a large group of juveniles was causing chaos inside the mall, lighting fireworks and disrupting businesses.
They was fighting, and then they tried to kick people out to slow it down. Then people got pepper spray. Then that's when the police started coming. And then after the police started coming, they told everybody get out. And then not everybody by the street, and they just throwing fireworks.
Officers had to escort nearly 50 minors out of the mall. About 15 of them ran away, and 4 were later located in a nearby parking garage and taken into custody. The 4 between the ages of 14 and 16, all facing felony charges like burglary, battery, and grand theft. All 3 facing felony charges, including burglary, battery, and grand theft. Some businesses were temporarily closed. A 6-block radius on Biscayne Boulevard also closed, so officers could facilitate everyone in the area safely. And police tell us, fortunately, no one was seriously injured. As soon as we get more information on these arrests, we'll let you know. We're live in Miami. Annalise Garcia, Local 10 News.
Wow, no mention of aliens whatsoever. But many people have come forward and talked about these 10-foot tall walking beings that kind of come in and out. They materialize and they dissipate, and weird electrical anomalies. But nothing with that. And again, there's a lot of YouTubers out there talking about this, but still, it's crazy. But wait, there's one more twist to the story. This is a clip from CBS Miami Channel 4, January 1st, 2023. Somehow, something similar happened last year on the same day. Check it out.
Now to a developing story out of Biscayne Bay, a chaotic scene near Bayside Marketplace after dozens of police cars flooded the area.
Yeah, police say it all started after a group of teenagers became unruly. According to investigators, some were fighting and others were setting off fireworks, which then led people to believe they heard gunshots, and that just caused panic. Officers quickly responded to the scene. 3 people are now in custody.
So in 2024, the only difference was there was 100 police cars. The police were ready for it this time, I guess. Unbelievable weirdness going on, and every day new things come out from it. Again, just craziness so far at the beginning of the year. Welcome 2024. This might be just the sign we've been looking for. Project Bluebeam is already engaged. Now, we've all been hearing about this border stuff, and a lot of people still don't understand what's going on down there. So the best thing I have is Candice Owens. Candice Owens podcast, and it's called Don't Mess with Texas. And this will set you straight on what's happening at the border and why this is so important. So sit back and have a listen.
You know, I'm going to be honest. Back in 2015, when Donald Trump was saying, build the wall, and everyone was going, build that wall, build that wall, I didn't really feel one way or the other about it. Obviously, I was just kind of waking up, coming out of my liberal dream state. And while people were really upset and said that the chant was xenophobic and it was racist and things of that nature, I didn't really feel, again, one way or the other. I just kind of thought, okay, it's not necessarily a bad thing to say that we want to have a fortified border, but also I don't really understand why he's pressing on this one particular issue. I think a lot of people felt that way. And I think a lot of people fell for the leftist argument that he was just being xenophobic and he was just being racist. But a lot has changed since 2015, and I think all of us are recognizing that something very serious is happening at our borders. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, we covered the story out of New York City. You're actually having students that are made to work remote from school, remote learning from school, because they are allowing illegal immigrants to occupy their schools, buses, picking them up. They need a place to live. So your children, your students should stay at home, and we are going to make sure that we are able to house illegals. Obviously ridiculous. Obviously, we are facing a crisis. Even leftist politicians who once said, oh, we welcome all illegal immigrants. There's no such thing as an illegal alien. Everybody's just a person, are now going, no, we've got problems, and we expect the federal government to help us solve them. Now, I want to say this. Defending our borders is a basic and fundamental expectation. We expect, obviously, that the federal government is focused on defending our borders from foreign threats. And when I say it's fundamental, I mean it is the very reason that most states agreed to join the union in the first place, for protection from foreign threats. Think about the Federalist Papers, the collection of essays from our nation's founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, James Madison, back in 1788. They were trying to urge the ratification of the Constitution, but they also grappled with a series of questions. First and foremost, why did they even want to have a central authority in the first place? Because the nation was extremely young, and we needed to make sure that we were able to keep those foreign threats at bay. But those questions they asked, okay, well, what would happen if that central authority, the federal government, then became too big and became too powerful? What are we going to do to guard against that threat? And that's where state rights come into the equation. States being allowed to have their own constitutions and their own authorities to ensure that our federal government does not abuse its power. And lately, we are understanding just how brilliant our founding fathers were, that they were able to foresee that circumstance, to understand that the federal government could grow too big and expansive. I mean, think about the times of COVID. The tyranny of COVID, the federal government saying, you're not allowed to work. You are forced to mask up. Well, you know what? We also want to force you to get this experimental vaccine. And then you saw states that stood up to that and said no. States like Tennessee, where I'm very proud to live, and Florida. DeSantis was an absolute hero during that period of COVID tyranny. Well, it seems like once again, the federal government is abusing its power, and this time we're not sure to what end. I want you to take a look at this footage of what's happening at our nation's border. Thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants is what you are looking at, just crossing into the United States. Here is another video. This time, it's just migrant families that are taking over Boston Airport. Take a listen.
Getting a stunning look at the migrant crisis in our state. This piece of video shows dozens of migrants lined up, sleeping on the floor of Terminal E at Logan Airport.
Last week, our camera captured dozens of families sleeping on the floor of Terminal E at Logan. Little ones toddling across the floor and babies. The issue isn't new. Massport officials said migrant families were sleeping in Logan in November, but the numbers are startling. Some estimate more than 100 folks.
So our federal government is paying to transport migrant families in the skies. And by the way, you're paying for it. I'm paying for it. We're all paying for it. Again, why are they doing that? We're not sure. What we are sure of, though, is that they're able to fly without IDs. In fact, we covered this in past episodes, but these migrants are being encouraged to dump their IDs before they cross over into the United States. We have no idea where these people are coming from. So if you're under the delusion that these are just Mexicans looking for a better chance at life, you need to wake up to the facts that that is not the truth anymore. In fact, many of these people are flying from other countries to Mexico because they know that our border is open. Take a look at this video. Absolutely terrifying. This is a migrant that is lacing a threat to Americans when people ask him, "Who are you? Where are you coming from?"
If you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're going to know who I am.
Soon you're going to know who I am. Did that accent sound to you like a Mexican accent? It didn't sound like one to me. The internet sleuthed and tried to determine who exactly that person was because obviously it seems like he is threatening us. It is being speculated that that individual is Mavsum Samadov. Mavsum Samadov leads the Azerbaijan Islamic Party, and they have close ties to Hezbollah. So yes, it is being speculated that at this moment, terrorists, people that hate the United States, are being allowed over the border. And what they're going to do, well, maybe exact revenge. But this doesn't seem to concern the federal government at all. In fact, now that states are starting to say we need to do something about this, the Biden administration is suing those states to stop them. That's what's going on in Texas right now. Just to give you a roundabout number, 6.2 million migrants have illegally crossed into the United States. And obviously, Texas is a massive border state. So the governor of Texas ordered for the National Guard to put up razor wire, to install razor wire on the border to stop this influx of migration. Why would the federal government have a problem with that? They did. The Biden DOJ sued them to stop that razor wire from being put up. And then what happened was that lawsuit went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court decided in favor of the Biden administration. They said, nope, you have to take down that razor wire because the feds are saying that they need that stretch of land to remain open. Now, obviously, Texas did not take kindly to that. Hey, we are Texas. We joined the Union in 1845 under the expectation that you would provide us protection from foreign threats. You have now failed when it comes to your side of the deal. Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued this official statement regarding the Supreme Court decision and how they would be responding. The federal government has broken the compact between the United States and the states. The executive branch of the United States has a constitutional duty to enforce federal laws protecting states, including immigration laws on the books right now. President Biden has refused to enforce those laws and has even violated them. The result is that he has smashed records for illegal immigration. Despite having been put on notice in a series of letters, one of which I delivered to him by hand, President Biden has ignored Texas's demand that he perform his constitutional duties. Under President Biden's lawless border policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in just 3 years. That is more than the population of 33 different states in this country. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the people all across the United States. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and the other visionaries who wrote the U.S. Constitution foresaw that states should not be left to the mercy of a lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. That is why the framers included both Article 4, which promises that the federal government shall protect each state against invasion, and Article 1, which acknowledges the state's sovereign interest in protecting their borders. The failure of the Biden administration to fulfill the duties imposed by Article 4 has triggered Article 1, Clause 3, which reserves to this state the right of self-defense. For these reasons, I have already declared an invasion under Article 1, Clause 3 to invoke Texas's constitutional authority to defend and protect itself. That authority is the supreme law of the land and supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary. The Texas National Guard, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and other Texas personnel are acting on that authority as well as state law to secure the Texas border. Wow. So what we have here is Texas is saying, You've abused your power and we are not listening. We are now sending our National Guard to defend the border. What happens next? Is Biden going to send federal agents to shoot Americans on behalf of allowing illegal immigrants to flood into our spaces, into our neighborhoods, into our schools? Seems unlikely, especially since other states are now saying that they stand with Texas. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida tweeted this: "If the Constitution really made states powerless to defend themselves against an invasion, it wouldn't have been ratified in the first place, and Texas would have never joined the union when it did. Texas is upholding the law while Biden is flouting it. Florida will keep assisting Texas with personnel and assets." And he wasn't the only one. Glenn Youngkin of Virginia tweeted this: "Virginia stands with Texas." Greg Abbott is doing the job Joe Biden and his border czar refused to do to secure our border. The Biden administration has turned every state into a border state. We must stop the flow of fentanyl, save lives, and secure our southern border. Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma tweeted this: simply, "Oklahoma stands with Texas." Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota followed and said, "Governor Abbott is exactly right to invoke Texas's constitutional authority to defend itself. The Biden administration has created a national security crisis and put Americans in danger. Their failure is an unconstitutional dereliction of duty. South Dakota has been proud to help Governor Abbott's efforts to secure our border." Brian Kemp of Georgia wrote, "Enough is enough. Our southern border is in crisis thanks to the Biden administration's refusal to do their job. Greg Abbott and the state of Texas have our full support." As I said, this is a constitutional crisis that is happening right now, and you need to be aware of it. It will be Biden's move next, but suffice it to say that I stand with Texas. This is exactly what needs to happen. If you are not awake now to the crisis that we are facing at our border, then I hope that listening to this will make you aware of it, because what is happening today is going to impact tomorrow. Our children are not safe. I am being serious when I say that every single person should be learning to defend themselves. We are allowing criminals and we are allowing drugs over the border. And I am not sure, again, why it is that our federal government wants this to happen. This doesn't make sense. This is evil. This is actually evil, what is taking place. And of course, it's not because they're concerned about racism or xenophobia. Something much more nefarious is at foot. So pay attention, you guys.
I believe she painted a better picture of what's going on down at the border and why it's so important, because the news is definitely not giving us the correct information. And apparently we have no idea who's here in our country, and things are about to get worse. Did you hear that guy? You're going to know who he is? Unbelievable. But that's Biden. Treason. Letting this happen. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in Texas. I know a lot of people are looking at it, and we're starting to pay attention now. And, of course, it's going to be on the forerunner of the presidential commitments that this is the number one topic that has to be addressed before anything else can be taken care of. So, once again, here we are in clown world. How did this happen? Why did it happen? Oh, the committees and the meetings and the inquiries. It's going to be crazy. 2024. I want to thank Candice Owens. That was an excellent production on that. It helped me understand the border better. Check out her podcast. She's an intelligent young lady, got a lot to say. Definitely common sense. To leave you off with something interesting, you've heard of Tom Macdonald, right? And what about his little buddy? Oh my good, Mr. Ben Shapiro. They've teamed up and they got a little song they came out with this past Friday, and it's been blowing up all over the internet. So might as well. It's called Facts. Tom Macdonald and Ben Shapiro. Have a listen.
They call me offensive, controversial. There's only two genders, boys and girls. They can't cancel my message because I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, alright. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't want to talk to folks who don't get it. Go woke, go broke, no hope, it's pathetic. Pro-choice, pronouns, pro-love, you're progressive. But you ain't pro-gun, no one to protect it. Where the American flags at? Remember when people would hang those? They've been taken down, they all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow. This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what would Ben do. Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a whack. Dog, it's a yarmulke, homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You going to prison, I'm on television. Dogs, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. Then I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people, download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns, ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what would Ben do. Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect you. You mad, you mad, you mad. I guess it's cool to be the victim, well, I'ma be the man. You sad, you sad, you sad. You just try to get attention, being triggered's all you have. You mad, you mad, you mad. You blame everybody else for every problem that you can. You sad, you sad, you sad. I will never say I'm sorry, I ain't taking nothing back. I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what would Ben do. Let's just keep it real, facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man. I'm the man who don't respect you.
Tom Macdonald and Ben Shapiro. What a unique, dynamic duo. But all they were doing was spitting facts. Can't blame them for that. 5.7 million views as the time I've done this podcast. Tom Macdonald and Ben Shapiro, they're blowing up the internet. That came out 2 days ago. Good stuff. There is hope for 2024, folks. With that, that's the Elusive Truth for this week. Thanks for listening. Please take care. We love you. Keep looking for those higher vibrations and frequencies, and keep looking for that elusive truth. It's out there. See you soon. Bye-bye.